Hello friends, now let us take up the 12th concept 3.12 fundamental data types. Already in the previous concept I have given a detailed explanation about fundamental data types. However, once again I will explain the rest of the features. With that you can have a complete knowledge about that. Once again I just give a briefing about this and fundamental data types can be classified mainly into two groups, integral data types and floating point data types. Integral data types means which deal with integers. So then under that integral data type, character data type and integer data type comes. Again character data type is classified into two groups and then character, signed character and unsigned char. As far integer data types are concerned, again unsigned and signed are applicable. So unsigned short, unsigned int, unsigned long, and signed short, signed int, signed long. Actually, on 16-bit machine, short and int have same size. That point always you remember. And thereafter, floating point. For floating points, all are signed. No unsigned is applicable. So then there are four types depending on the size: float 4 bytes, double 8 bytes, long double 10 bytes. This already explained in detail. Now individually focus. Totally there are 11 types. In order to represent them, which keywords we have to use, that may be your doubt, that I am clarifying, and at the same time I am explaining the ranges also. Okay, if a smaller types and all that, smaller ranges you can remember. Bigger ranges and all that, I provide you simple thumb rule, you can follow that. Now signed char, actually whatever I underline, those are default. That means if you don't write also, the same is applicable. Now signed char, if you simply write char also, that is the implication is it is signed char. Its size is 1 byte, its range is minus 128 to plus 127. Okay. Unsigned char, in case of unsigned char you must write this qualifier unsigned, then it is 1 byte, its range is 0 to 255, not 256. Okay. Thereafter short, signed short. In case of signed short, if you simply write short, that is enough, and it is 2 bytes, it is a range minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. Unsigned short, this unsigned, writing unsigned is mandatory. You should write size is 2, 0 to 65,535. Now you see the absolute values of the two you add, this comes. So whenever in two contexts only we use unsigned. The first context is where minus is not applicable to certain values. That is the first one. The second one is where you want a bigger range. Now instead of 32,767 you are using 65,535. And if you come to signed int, then again 2 bytes, then signed by default it is applicable, it is not compulsory to write. It's a range 32,000 minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. And unsigned int again 0 to 65,535. This is the sum of absolute values of the both. Thereafter signed long int, there are 4 bytes. Actually the big figure is there, simply remember that is minus 2 billion, minus 2 billion plus is there, don't bother about it, minus 2 billion to plus 2 billion. Next, here signed is by default. Unsigned long int, actually int also is a default. If you write long enough, otherwise long int you write. As far as unsigned long int, unsigned is compulsory, int is by default. if you want to write unsigned long or unsigned long int, both are okay. Now 0 to 4 billion, here minus 2 billion to plus 2 billion, here plus 4 billion, billion means 100 crores. Okay, as far as float, double and long, we need not think of the ranges. Those are millions of millions. That's why these are given in exponential notation. You need not remember them. Any value you can give. So then if you are using on a supercomputer and all that, these values may be required. At a student level or even at a programmer level, these higher values are not required. That point you always remember. So only size you remember: float 4 bytes, double 8 bytes, long double 10 bytes. In this manner, everything you remember. In this context, one suggestion I have to give you. Actually, all 11 types are there. First, after reading this, close the book, write all the types, and thereafter which keywords we have to use to represent them, you write. You should not refer. Once you acquaint with that, thereafter you should not refer again and again. So all keywords you write. Thereafter, what are the sizes you write. Thereafter, ranges and all that up to here you remember. That's good. That is a good practice. You need not bother about ranges of float and all that. Here also approximate value minus 2 billion to plus 2 billion, 0 to 4 billions, like that you remember. One thing I am telling you, while you are writing code, you should not get any doubts. Whatever prerequisite knowledge is required, all that you should master. One time effort. Whenever you are studying that, you complete this once for all. For that only one test is there, whether you got a command over this and all that. Once you write everything, after writing everything, you verify with my table, or in the book it is there, you verify with that, and you must be in a position to fluently explain all these types to your friend. At least you should get acquire that such type of confidence. Then this is very much required, because every program, for declaring all the data types, we have to use one or more of the data types. The most important concept. That's why I have given very detailed explanation on this and all that. You must master whatever time is required. Everything you cannot put in a time frame. You must master data types. You must understand every bit of thing. Already I told you in the beginning, if you have complete knowledge in the real spirit about data types and variables, 50% of your basic doubts in programming language, not only in C, in advanced programming languages also, will be prevented or averted. Then doubts are not there. Your study will be like a smooth sailing. It is like a cakewalk. Then you can master subject. And once again I am telling you, whenever you get an opportunity, then you explain the concept to your friends. Instead of wasting your time and spending time for different activities and all that, explaining concept to your friends, you get more benefit than your friends. Because when you can explain, when you have command over any concept, then only you can explain. It will be a testing point. Many times I tell my students, more than students, I learn in the classroom, because that is the only platform where we can test our knowledge, whether we have complete knowledge or any missings are there, any loopholes are there, we can know that. If you are able to give complete information to the students, then student will grasp it, and this strategy is mutually beneficial.